Welcome to Creative Events International, a place of innovation. So today I'll be showing you how I converted this cap to this. Okay, so that's a flat fascinator, regular fascinator available in the market, is already made. So when we buy already made fascinators for the market, it becomes our duty to be innovative around it, turn it to what we want, and bam, we are good to go. So today, as I was trying to decorate and make different fascinators down because of the season, I just, God just gave me this insight. I've never done it before. Other persons must have been doing it, but I have not done it on an already made cap before. When I mold, I can mold and do it, but when it comes to this, I've not thought of it this way, but somehow it came to my mind and I feel like sharing it with you people. All right, so what we need is a net. This is a lace like this material that carry hose, a lace. And the interesting thing about it is that it is stretchy. So if it's not stretchy, I'm not sure it's advisable. So whatever net you want to work with should be stretchy. So this is stretchy. I'm doing a red on white. You can do any color. You can do a biro blue on white. You can do a black on white. You can do a gold on white. You can just play with colors, and before you know it, your client might just be loving your creativity, your creative ideas. They might just be loving the things you are coming up with. I will just share a little secret. One thing with me is that when I create some things and I love it, if I put it in my shop for some time and I am not selling it, I don't get bothered though. The only thing I do is I'll change the design after some time. It means that design is not selling. So that's why we are creators, and we get to be creative. We get to bring our ideas to life and see the ones out of all the numerous ideas we have that people will appreciate. Okay, so even you have some ideas, just bring it to light. People might just appreciate it and it becomes something that is trending. Okay, I'm talking too much because I know that you can see what I am doing, and what I'm doing is not something that you cannot watch and understand. So the only part of this that I'm going to explain is the fact that I'm going to be using the net to flip the cap up. All right, that's just the only part that I want to create a flip. I want to be able to lift the cap up. You understand? So to do that, I only need the material I'm using now. I only need to pull it tight. Once I pull it tight, if I want two sides to go up, I will drag both sides that I want to go up, but I just want to lay this part. So you can see that when I pull it, it came up. You understand? It's just going to flip. It will help you to easily decide your back and front for the fascinator, and it will also help you to easily decide the part that you should be resting your placing your designs, your roses, your stick, your feathers, or whatever you think you want to use to embellish. So what I'm doing, this tutorial is short. What I'm doing quickly is to wrap. All right, so I just go around the main edge, with hot glue, and then I keep pulling the fabric around it to ensure that it's cool and it's tight. And then I've been able to lift up the portion I want to be lifted. So I also have to ensure that every aspect of it is secured. All right, then I'll trim it very close. I don't want to go too far when I'm dressing the edge, so I trim it very close so that whatever I'm using to trace the edge will not be um too obvious. Okay, should be able to stay within the range it ought to. Okay, because sometimes when we design our fascinators or cap, we go extra mile because of some kind of um mistakes that are supposed to be avoidable mistakes, not unavoidable mistake but avoidable mistakes. So because of that we start looking for what do I use to cover, how do I cover, try and avoid that. All right, so I'll just knit it up. I've trimmed, but I'm still trying to sit some of the fabric that I felt are not really sitting properly, so I'll just sit them. Now this part is crucial. All right, we have to make sure that the original curve of the fascinator is not covered or hidden, because if you look at it like this now, you are not really seeing the crown of the fascinator, so we have to make the crown pronounced. Please, if you are going through this process, spend time. I'll repeat, I said if you are going through this process, spend time. Now why? The material you use in covering together with the accessories you are using to glue need to sit properly. That is, the accessories need to be stick first of all to the material. From the material it will link to the fascinator. So one, you have to ensure that you have enough glue on your chain or whatever you are using, enough glue that when you hold it down will be able to grab the material, grab the fascinator, sit them together. If not, remember that while we were wrapping we pulled it, so that pulling you did, we want to create a kind of resistance when you are trying to glue. So if you don't ensure that you hold it down for some good minutes for it to really cool down and sit, you will be surprised that your work might just be rough, because the quicker you release it, the quicker it will be lifted and it will pull off, and you don't want that to happen. So I stressed that, I stressed it so that you know how important that aspect is to this design. It, you see that I did not fast forward it, I did not fast forward what I'm doing. You can tell from what I'm doing that I actually spent time gluing it down. I might decide to fast forward later, but I want you to know that it's not a kpakpakpa thing that you just do pa 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 and you are through. It's a lie. Oh, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So this is it. We are still gluing and we are still being careful. You know, the as you are adding your glue and using much glue, if you are not careful with your bending and placement, I'm taking my time to explain this. So if you are not careful with your bending and placement, the chain will go to the wrong direction. When it happens you will say I said it. The chain will go to the wrong direction, it will cause a stain on that part, and of course I know that you will pull it from that part and now shift it to where you want it. That part will create a challenge for you, because you will be thinking of how do I cover this mess, what should I add. So before you know it you will start adding unnecessary accessories to your work. When people add unnecessary accessories, we know that this accessory is not supposed to be here if this work is done perfectly. So we cannot be deceived. You can deceive those people that are not in the field, but you cannot deceive us that are in the field. So there are some that are not necessary. Be very careful with your work. Shey you see that I did not fast forward it, I want you to see. You can see the crown. The crown is well seated. It's showing very well now, and I think it gave more meaning to the work that we are doing. You can see it. transformed, beautiful. All right, so the remaining thing I want to do is just decoration, which I know that a lot of us can do. We just add feathers, add roses, stick rose or whatever roses you want to use, just add. If you don't even want to add feathers, you can just go ahead and not use this type of feathers. You can just use stick feathers and you are done. All right, so now that I am done with all the explanations, I want to welcome as many persons that just discovered creative ends, because a lot of persons are just discovering us. All right, so I want to welcome you. This is called Creative Ends International. It's Creative Ends platform, and by the grace of God, my ends are creative. All right, my mind is creative because God is with me. Nobody can be creative more than God. So God gives us insight into what we are doing, and we are doing well. All right, so you can join this community by subscribing to our channel, hitting on the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever we post new videos. All right, and also recommending this channel to other people so that we can grow. Bikonu. So thank you. Now I want to cover the rough edges. All right, if you ask me sincerely from my heart, oh, that creative ends, do you love the black we are using now? I will say no, mba oh, I wouldn't have used black. Oh, I would have loved to use white elastic, but unfortunately I was not having a white elastic, and I don't want to leave this video inconclusive. I want to finish it up so that those that are following can really understand what we are doing and not feel that they can leave it that way. That's why I had to use the black. So what am I trying to say? Use the color of your work. So you can either use red or you use white. If you are not using elastic, you can use bias. You can use those suede bias 1 inch. You can use Peter Sham. Is that not what they call it? I think so. It's 1 inch. It's as wide as this, so that you can now use your color. You see those suede bias in the market, you can use them so that you can use your color. Is that okay? All right, thank you very much. I love you. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.